So this is just a bit of a close-up of how we're going to cut out, and then what I'll do is I'll drop onto just cutting one spline, show you how I fit that. So face side, face edge. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure down 10 millimeters. There, might as well mark the other side. Same again here. And I'll just do that one I've not marked. Just try square, we can move that across. Really need to mark the centre. My gauge is still set up from previous. So then I'm on my first side. We don't need to go too deep with it. We just need just to highlight those lines. A bit awkward would it be in a small piece, but just as I've mentioned previously, if we just go gentle with the gauge, you do get better results. So I'm only going to show cutting out with one side. So I'm going to take that, very similar to doing any halving joint. We want it approximately 45 degrees, and I'm going to take my saw and I'm going to drop it. Now because this is end grain and it's quite tight actually, I'm not going to put my saw in the gauge line. I'm going to cut just to the inside of it. So I'm just bringing it slowly, introducing it to that end grain and stopping. Same again here, just on the inside. I'm just coming down to my line. Now I'm going to turn it over. So you can just see, just on the inside. If this was a really tight grain hardwood, I'd just cut straight down my gauge lines. But because of this timber, it is only softwood. The grain for the end grain, I don't want it to crumble on me. So the critical thing is I do not go past my shoulders. And always chisel down to them. So now I'm going to put this just at an angle. What I'm going to do is take my chisel and I'm going to put it in. So I'm going to scoop, make sure we're nice and tight, and I don't want to go, because I know I'm 10 mil down, and scoop it up towards the middle. Now I'm going to turn it and just come in and go down to my shoulder line, turn it again. I'm going to scoop, very gentle with this grain, sharp chisel, it's critical. Now what I'm going to do is put it so nice and horizontal there. So when I'm going forward, just clean that out. There. Now we can come from this side. Again, I put it so I'm horizontal. I'm going to start scooping. Now, start taking it down flat. Take a little bit at a time. We don't need to rush it. And then what I'm going to do is, just going to gently pair back on my cheeks. Now if you've got a really sharp chisel, turn it round. And what we want to do is keep these cheeks square. Now I know I'm coming out with the end grain there, but because I'm taking so little off and my chisel is so sharp, I've got no worry of bursting out the back. So we just need to make sure nice and clean through there in the corners. That's the critical thing. There we go. Just need to take that in. Now I'm only using just a bit of joinery grade red wood here. Just for this little concept. But it'll be perfectly fine just to see what we're going to be like. A little bit awkward to work with, but you just take your time. Right. So that's one side. I'm going to do a little spline for these, show you how I do them to put it together. So I know I'm approximately 21 millimeters, 20 mil for my spline. So this timber already comes in. It's a bit of inch by 1, 20 mil by 44. So what I want is, I know I've got that across here, I just need to thickness it down to my approximate 9 mil. So what I'm going to do is, just move my gauge. So I've got approximately 9 mils, so we're about there. And I'm just going to do these individually. So if I put a bit of a pencil line on there, across, down, in, saw. Now you can do a full strip of these, but I'm only showing you for this one. Now I'm going to give myself a mil on my gauge line. So you see, I'm just giving myself approximately about 1 mil just on my gauge line there and just ripping it down. We are going to thickness this with the plane, so it only needs to be a rough cut. And then we're out. Pop that to one side. So this now, I'm just going to pop in my vise. Just going to use a smoothing plane. Don't forget to set them up. You look down at the plane, and that's not quite parallel. So we just adjust the lateral. We want an equal shaving coming off. I'm just going to test it in, so I just need a fraction more, and I would rather keep just a quick check on how it's going to be rather than take too much. Just want to be taking whispers off. Again, can get in. Take a little bit off that side. Pop it back. Now I don't like these to be too tight. I can just slide in just gently without forcing. If they're too tight, all they'll do is they'll just force this apart. Now, there's no reason you can't do these power tools, but as I said, we're just keeping this really nice and simple build. So that's in there nicely. And that's the type of fit that we need. Just where it just gently slides in. So check this side. Tight there. So I think on this one, I just need a little bit of a clean up just on my cheeks here. So nice and gentle. A little bit of grain tape. Just make sure we're nice and flat. And this is the thing, because it's hand cut, they are going to be individual. And this adds character. If it was all perfect, like a machine. It removes all that little quirks of the timber. Right, so there we go, just a tiny bit in that corner. Right, so now, if you look, I'm tight, a little bit, maybe in the bottom, there, there's a slight round. There we go. So we're in nicely. Now if I push those two together, you'll see there's a slight gap there. Now what I can do is measure that gap, and I'm going to come off my 100 because my eyesight's not that good anymore. And I'm going to take 2 mil off here. Nice. I just need a tiny, tiny fraction. And nearly just down to the line. Again, I'd rather take it out of the vise. Check. You see that gap's closing up now. That's what we want. Again. Oh, and we're nearly there. Look at that. Nearly there. Just a gentle. Now, I'm pushing that tight to get that tiny, tiny gap in the middle to close, which means I'm going to have to put extra force on with the clamps, which if I just take a tiny bit off, and it's there. Nicely. Just sat. I don't need to force it. That's lovely. Just slide. Just nicely. So what I'm going to do is, before I actually put this together, I'm going to just put it that way, you'll be able to see. So I'm tight in. I'll take my pencil and I'm just going to rest it just so it's like that. just to give myself a rough mark of where I need to be. Then I'm going to come tighten the corner. The reason for that is I'm now just going to cut those off, but I know where I've actually marked the spline to. So pop that in. That's my outside line. Flip it over. Again, I'm going to come down. Now this is only a rough cut. This is just to take the bulk of the waste off, because I can, once the glue's dried, I can come in with a really nice sharp chisel and we can clean that up. So with me having the pencil line on, I can slide that up to it and I can put it to where it needs to be. And it's nicely in. Right, because we've done that, now I'm just going to quickly glue this one up. It's Friday afternoon, what time are we? About 10 to 4. So I'm going to glue this one up now. I won't get a chance to do another spline now. So I'll get this one glued up and we'll get it popped in the cramp. So make sure you've got a right full glue surplus. You need plenty of glue on these. Okay, make sure your face side face edge is up. So glue in. You don't need a glue brush, you don't need a glue stick, because we can use the spline to bring the glue up the cheek side. Make sure we get any spill off. Don't want that much of a clean up. There we go. We're nice and tight on there. Make sure we're on that face side face edge. Just get that little bit of a glue run out. And now, just need to make sure that I've got plenty in there. So I'm going to just check that top corner meets and the bottom corner meets. I'm just going to slide that up a little bit, make sure it's locked in, and you can just see that glue. By pushing the spline up a little bit, you can just see the glue has just squeezed out a bit. So it's really pulled that in. And we're flat, which is what we're after. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to just cramp that up. So I'm going to use my vise. You don't have to, you can use some quick clamps, some speedy clamps. Because I'm only doing this one, I'm not over tightening it. Really nice and tight, there we go. And closed up. Again, with a clamp. Put my clamp in. Put it that way actually, we don't want it sticking out, bit of bad practice. Just going to check, still nipped up at the bottom. which I am. Check with the back. Brilliant. That's all cramped up. So I'm just going to leave that to dry over the weekend, and then when I come back, so what I do is, that's one segment off. I could have probably got one more segment on, but there's no point in rushing. I'm just going to take that little bit of glue off there, and we're in nice and tight. We'll leave that to dry. Maybe jump on, just do a couple more grooves for the splines, ready for gluing up next week. Okay guys, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with the progress.